What you saying, people? Back with a bang. This is the Money Management, back with another video for you guys today. Now it's Financial Friday, and in today's video we're going to be talking about income streams. So if you guys remember, maybe 30, 40 years ago, income streams weren't really a big deal. The rich, the wealthy did maybe have some income streams, but you didn't need to have income streams to live. Now I know many of us were not even born 30, 40 years ago, so we obviously don't know how life was back then. But in today's video, I'm going to explain to you guys just why multiple income streams is necessary, multiple sources of income is vital in this day and age. Because in this life now, one income stream, one source of income, one job is just not enough. But before we get into that today, on this Financial Friday, I just want to say to you guys, please make sure you guys are giving these videos a thumbs up as you have been doing recently. Keep that good work up. Also, make sure you guys are commenting on these videos. I love interacting with you guys, answering your questions, just engaging with you guys and talking to you guys. So keep that going. Added to that, if you're new around here, make sure you're hitting that red button below. Just hit that subscribe button. That's all it is. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you any of your income streams. It's completely free. So hit that button. And lastly, please make sure you are sharing these videos with your friends so we get them out to more people, help more people, enlighten more people, and more importantly, create a bigger and better audience. So let's talk about income streams now, earning money. So a lot of people on this earth have a job, or their desire is to get a job, or they're taught to get a job which is paying well, which brings them a lot of money in, and there's nothing wrong with that. So let's say you're in a job, you're earning 60, 70k a year, you just started out of college. Within 5 years you might be earning 100k, 6 figures, and you're living life, you're enjoying your job, you're getting paid. Now what happens if a global pandemic happens? Let's say something completely random hits the earth, and people are starting to get laid off their jobs, unemployment starts to increase, people start to lose that amazing job they had, that amazing source of income. Well, guess what happens? They now have no income. They went from earning 60, 70k a year to absolutely nothing. They're not guaranteed anything anymore. The stability they had, the certainty they had, the great life that they were living is now gone. The house that's on mortgage was paid by their job. The car payments they were making came from the money they were earning from their job. Life that they were living, the money that they were using to pay for their kids' school fees is now gone. That source of income is gone. It's been cut off. They were completely dependent on that earned income, on that paycheck each and every week, or every 2 weeks, or every month. Every single time that they looked forward to getting the next paycheck, even if they were stacking money, even if they were making money, that source of income is now gone. It's been completely cut off. So think of that scenario. It might sound like a crazy scenario. So you might say, "Oh wow, this will never happen." Well, clearly this pandemic is living proof of that. Before this pandemic, maybe 5 years, 10 years ago, it was already bad enough to have one single source of income. And I've been saying this for a couple of years now. You need to have more than one source of income. You need to be at least having 2, 3, to start off with, and then eventually build up to 4, 5, 6. When you want to make more money, when you want to increase your wealth, become better. Like I said, this pandemic has proof of that. It doesn't mean that, if this pandemic didn't happen, you should have one source of income. That's not the case. You still need more sources of income. Maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, like I mentioned, multiple sources of income was a luxury. People didn't need to have multiple sources of income. Now, multiple sources of income is a necessity. It doesn't matter who you are. I'd say once you hit the age of 18 and you start looking for a job, looking for work, that kind of thing, you need to have multiple sources of income. You cannot rely on one single source of income anymore, that earned income. Again, this pandemic has showed how many companies can run without those employees that they've been taking on. This pandemic has shown how many people get cut off by their job because their job doesn't care about them. Their one source of income is not enough. They can lose that at any time. Being dependent on that is just simply not enough. You might work for a company 10, 20, 50 years and it doesn't make a difference. They might still cut you off because it's cheaper for them. They might still cut you off because they need to. They'll probably cut you off just because they don't care about you. Yes, you may have done great service to them. You may have helped them a lot. But you're completely dependent on them and they're probably not dependent on you. That's why I'm telling you guys, it's so important you have more than one source of income. You might have a 9 to 5, which is paying you well. Again, you've been working there a long time, you've been getting your raises, you're happy with it. But you need that side hustle, you need something else at the side, just in case, anything can happen. It doesn't have to be a global pandemic for this to happen. It can be you just getting laid off just for the sake of it. It can be your company going bankrupt. It can be your company furloughing employees. It can be so many different situations, but you need to be prepared for that. You might say the worst will never happen to me. My company loves me, this and that. I've been a great servant. I've done all this kind of stuff. That may be the case. But still, even in that case, you have to have that side hustle. You have to have money coming in from another source. It doesn't have to be something crazy. You don't have to work another extra job. But again, just a small side hustle. It can be your own business. It can be something you do in your spare time. It can be freelancing. It might be something you be real estate or getting some passive income from stocks. But purely being dependent on one source of income to pay your bills, to pay your mortgage, to pay your rent, to pay for your car loans, to pay for your kids' school fees, that's not going to work. And even worse, like I said, when difficult times hit, how are you going to survive through that? Being dependent on one source of income, being dependent on getting a raise from them, being purely dependent on getting money from one single source, you guys know that is not going to work. That's not logical. A lot of people say that they want to get a 9 to 5, a good paying job, which will pay them consistently each and every month for security. Let me tell you, that's not the definition of security. That's not what security means. Security is having, 5, 6 sources of income. So it doesn't matter which one of them dies out, which one of them, pays you less this month, you're still getting paid, you're still earning money, you're still getting enough to pay for your kids' school fees, you're still getting enough to pay for your rent, you're still getting enough to pay for whatever you need to pay for. I cannot stress this enough to you guys. The definition of security that society provides you with is completely wrong. I don't know how, secure getting one source of income is when it can get slashed at any moment, any single moment. It doesn't matter who you are. Unless you're maybe the CEO, even then, it doesn't matter. One source of income is simply not enough. You cannot be dependent on one single source of income, one source of income, one pure source of income, especially when it's that income where you're, exchanging time for that money. If you don't want to end up in a really bad spot, if you want actual security, get yourself multiple sources of income. Get yourself a few different streams of income. Again, you can diversify, you can do different things. It doesn't all have to be exchanging time for money. Use your money as a tool. That's what money is there for. Not only to earn and save and keep in your wallet, it's also there to be used as a tool. I do want to help you guys understand how to take care of your expenses. And having one source of income is not how you can take care of your expenses. It might work short term. It might work for now. It might be secure now. But the moment you get laid off, the moment global crisis hits, you could be losing that source of income and then have nothing to pay for your expenses. You could be losing that income and have nothing to pay for appreciating assets. You could be losing that income and you're stuck. You're in a bad spot. Look at all the people who have been affected by the pandemic. Now, I'm not saying it's good or bad if you've been affected or whatever. What I'm trying to say is a lot of people have been affected badly, and purely because they didn't have anything else to depend on. They had their day job, which was their sole source of income, but now they're in a position where they don't have anything, purely because, again, they were so dependent on one source of income, which wasn't even controlled by them. Being in a place where you have to exchange your time for your money is never going to end up well, especially if that's the only way you're earning money. If that's the only way you're getting money, you need to change that. You need to start making other ways to get money. And again, I'm going to talk about the security which doesn't even exist. That security means you're one step away from having no money, one step away from having no income source, one step away from not being able to pay for anything, one step away from even being poor. You've got to raise your standards and do what's best for you. You've got to raise your standards and do what's going to help you in your financial future. You've got to always be looking on out for yourself, because the big companies won't always look out for you. Again, this global pandemic has shown that. And there's really no better time to start creating more income sources for yourself than right now. This time right now is the time you should be creating more income sources, finding out ways you can earn some money. The time that you're not commuting to work, the time that you're at home, maybe the extra time you have because you've already been laid off and now you have free time to do other things. Use that time to create more income sources for yourself. It might be small, might just cover a few small expenses, but it's more than enough. That's enough just to start with. That's enough to begin with. You start using that, you start doing that, and trust me, eventually you'll start taking off. You keep putting in the time to it, you keep building your craft, you keep putting in the effort, the hours, eventually you will see it will pay off. And when you get to the point where those income streams are all passive income, guess what? You have more free time for yourself. You're more in control of your time. You can do what you want and live the life you want to live. And lastly, I just want to clarify again, having a 9 to 5, having a day job, there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to come to the point where you start realizing that if that gets taken away from you, you could be in a really bad place. It is not a luxury anymore to have multiple sources of income. It is now a necessity. You need to have that. Do not be purely dependent on other people creating a means for yourself. Do not be purely dependent on other people so you can get paid. Find ways to get yourself multiple sources of income because it is not a luxury. It is now a necessity. So, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys take these tips and take this information and use it to your benefit. As always, like I've told you guys, my aim on this channel is to help at least one person become better each and every day, one person close to financial success, one person more control of their time, and one person pushing closer to their goals and dreams. Lastly, I just want to say, again, I'm so grateful for your support. Now, please support yourselves by creating yourselves some more forms of income. But tomorrow is the weekend, so make sure you guys are back here again for another video. But that's for this video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I got money making, you got multiple sources of income to be chasing. See you guys tomorrow for another video. Peace.